going on to you Leos out there? Hope y'all are having a great day. Smash the like button. That way you can get more connected into the energy of this reading. Listen. There's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to be able to financially support the channel. So I can most definitely keep the show going. I just want to go ahead and say thank you to all the Leos that reached out, all the zodiac signs that reached out in general. Appreciate y'all. So for you Leos, you have the Two of Swords, the Sun, and the Ace of Pentacles. So these three cards right here are all about how it is that you Leos, ultimately what it is that you've got going on is a lot of you are very much so, how do I say, your life is very much so, you're living your life, yo. Like, your life is busy, but in a good way, in the sense that you Leos don't necessarily have a whole lot of time to be trying to occupy somebody else's time for a long period of time. In other words, you move indifferently, right? You stand focused on what it is that you got to do. You focusing on yourself. And this is all a part of the perks of the unofficial Ghost Nation, right? That the idea that you Leos understand that you're still gonna date and do the things that you want to do, but everything in moderation. You're not gonna obsessively, excessively try to date someone. Because I'm seeing, like I said before, you Leos, you know, you're on a different time now because you don't really care to spend so much time trying to get to know the person, wasting your time, you know, trying to take them out, you know, especially nowadays, they're trying to manipulate and coerce you Leos into like paying for something. They always trying to charge you up. You know, you can't take the person to a free art gallery or something free where you don't have to spend any kind of money. Automatically, you can tell that it's always this manipulation of trying to change the environment of you got to spend in order to hang out with them. In other words, you Leos may want to take somebody to a free event or do something where you don't necessarily have to spend so much money, but then it's like they're coming off with the idea of, well, we need to go get something to eat. We need to do this. We need to do that, which would require you spending this money. And instead of you know what I'm saying? And the thing is that instead of them going home hungry, but not taking it personally, right? You see how people take it personally, because there's times where I've spent speaking to people literally doing something free. We both broke college students. You dig what I'm saying? And I didn't care if the person legitimately looked at me like I'm cheap. The mentality is psychotic. They expect me to be a multi-billionaire at 18, right? But then they hear my story, and this is after they've heard my story. They know that I came from Trinidad and Tobago to move to mainland America, right? And they knew that I wasn't, you know, this billionaire and stuff like this as far as the economics is concerned, right? The financial system is concerned. In Trinidad, I had still do have a house and land and stuff like this, as far as the square footage of the house and the land, the little piece of land that's on it. But then at the same time, they still expect me to be like a multi-millionaire being in a CEO position of a Fortune 500 company at like 8. Like, this is the stupidity of it. And then getting mad at me because they have this perspective of, and more so mad at you Leos. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. You Leos are dealing with the same disposition. They getting, you know, people that you've experienced in the past getting mad at you because they think that, oh, you're not trying hard enough. You're not going to be a success story because you don't try hard enough. This is the mentality behind it. This is the stupidity behind it. And a lot of you Leos are just over with that because it's crazy. It's crazy making. The Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles over here is all about how, since that's the case, You know, again, a lot of you Leos understand what time it is, because it is crazy making. It's crazy making because first and foremost, not everybody is going to figure out how to be rich. Some people will never know the secrets. Some people may know the secrets, but they'll never actually put it into practice. And some people may know the secrets, put it into practice, but unfortunately, they just haven't lived long enough to actually get to a point where they can reach that threshold of being that multimillionaire that they want. But the problem, though, is that the thing is that you got a lot of people charging you Leos up, trying to make it seem like, oh, well, if you ain't spending money on them, then somehow you're not worth it, because you're being broke or being middle class is evidence, or it's proof that you're not trying hard enough. So therefore you're lazy. And it's like, this is what I mean when I say sometimes people be charging other people up. Now, they're not even rich themselves. They're not even loaded in cash flow themselves. But then at the same time, they're expecting somebody else to figure it out for the both of them. For you and this other person. Like, this is stupid. And again, a lot of you Leos realize how stupid it is. That's why the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles represents you Leos just decide to do your own thing, you know, and get to know people on your own time. And if they're just not interested in other words, if they are not okay with them going out on something free and they going home hungry, because not every day, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. And this is a little piece of game that I want to bestow onto the Lions too. If they have a problem with that, that automatically means that they need to be dubbed. They need to be thrown in the garbage immediately. Whatever it is that you could have had with them, there's many times that I came back from a date where we did not go eat. There was no money being spent. You dig what I'm saying? And those people had a legitimate problem with that at the end of it. Oh, you didn't take me out to eat. Why? And I always used to ask them, and they never would answer me back. Why is it that me, first and foremost, I'm always the one paying. I'm expected to always pay. How come your goofy behind never come out the house with any kind of money? That's first off. It takes two, but then only one side is putting in all this effort while you do nothing. So you lazy. That's number one. And number two, right? And number two with that, how come, if that's the case, how come is it that whenever it is that I go ahead, right, and take you out, it's always this trying to wall me into a position of having to pay, right? They're going to try to wall you. They try to wall you Leos into paying. You know what I mean? It's always about you Leos having to pay some clever way to get you Leos to come out of pocket. That's a problem. And a lot of you Leos are like, yo, you like your money more than you want to date. Because they always talk about how it's a risk, right? You got to take a risk. But what risks are they taking if they're the ones that's getting spent on? They getting free this, free that, free this, free that on you Leos' dime and time, right? Ace of Pentacles. And yet at the same time, what kind of risks are they taking? And you Leos are expected to show and prove that you can have their back, right? You can financially support yourself, and not necessarily financially support the other person, but you are expected to somehow look out for them, you know? So you showing them all these wonderful tokens of appreciation, these little gifts and stuff like this. Nah, the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles is you Leos being like, nah, bump that. You're going to keep all your money. If the person has, because that's a serious red flag. If the person has that much of a problem with you Leos choosing to spend your money on whatever it is that you want to spend your money on, it's an automatic dub. Because it screams real desperation and trying to cover up something when a person is so hard pressed for another person's money, like they're entitled to it. They don't even know you, but then they're trying to tell you you need to come up on out of pocket as if they have a right to your pockets. No, they have a privilege to your pockets if you give them that privilege. And a privilege is something that can be taken away and given. A right is something that we are all born with that cannot be taken or given away. The right to live is a right. Having a TV is a privilege. You can live without a TV, but you can't live without air. So it really does scream at the top of its lungs, and it has a loud, carrying voice. Poor, desperation, leech, parasite. That's what it screams. Because this you need to do something for me. Who are you? The judgment in the Six of Cups represents, see, now that it is that you Leos done moved on, now these exes, because we are in a Mercury retrograde, happy eclipse, by the way, here it is that these goofy people trying to come holler at you now. These exes trying to say what's up, trying to reach back out, right? Trying to get back a hold of you again, right? Page of Swords, while at the same time, they haven't learned anything. They haven't changed for the better. They've changed for the worse. The Moon and the Knight of Pentacles represents, well, you Leos don't care about that because you Leos don't have to put up with these goofy individuals. You're not putting up with that. You Leos are already off living your life trying to talk to other people at your own convenience. Because see, that's the thing that a lot of people misunderstand about you. At this current point in time, Leo, you're not even putting pressure on yourself to find somebody. You're just talking. Because a lot of you Leos are living your lives. Let's clarify the Six of Cups here. King of Cups, Judgment, Ace of Cups, Three of Pentacles, and then you have the Empress. This is what it is that I'm talking about. The King of Cups, the Judgment, and the Ace of Cups is all about how it is that here you are as the King of Cups living your life. The Judgment represent your exes thinking so much about you because they know that you're not sweating them, you're not calling them, you don't care about them, you're moving forward with your life. And the fact that you're moving forward, and how do they know you're moving forward? Because you're not sweating them the way that you used to. You used to, Leos, a lot of you Leos used to go to work upset, angry, thinking about how it is that, people don't take the time to actually really get to know you like that, Now, granted, you Leos can be tough, but, all the Leos that I've ever known, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all could have somebody question it like, yo, is this Leo like cool with me? You know what I'm saying? I love Leo. But the Ace of Cups over here represents but you did try to show these people how much you like them. The Three of Pentacles and the Empress is about how it is that the Three of Pentacles is about how you just want someone to actually be able to trust and be willing to put in the work. But the Empress, you're not separating yourself from your money unless you want to. And honestly speaking, you shouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying? You really shouldn't have to. People trying to, because it's the principle of it. I've never liked the idea that I'm always the one paying for everything. But then it's always these schemes to try to get me to pay for something. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, let's kick it. Okay, we can go ahead and get something to eat. It's like, no, we need to do something for free where I ain't got to spend money. And like, they get so offended, quote unquote offended. It's like they're offended about something. But it's like, why is it that you're getting so offended over the money in my pocket? It's like, yeah, I got some money and everything like that, but you Leos know good and well the feeling of wanting to save up for a big event. Because I remember myself, being, a freshman in college and stuff like this, trying to save up for a motorcycle and stuff like that, just penny pinching, trying to save as much as I possibly could to really because I've always loved bikes ever since the movie Biker Boys came out in 2003. That's how far back it goes. And it's all and trying to save up for that. And I am saving up for it. But then at the same time, it's always this expense that pops up, right? Even when it comes to trying to get to know somebody, it's this expense that pops up. It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when it comes to dating, oh, why don't you take me here? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And it's like, I'm looking at the situation and I'm like, I'm a broke college student that's trying to get, that's trying to penny pinch into saving up for a motorcycle while I'm trying to focus on my studies. And you should be doing the exact same thing. But you a broke college student, but you have, hold on. It's like you a broke college student, but you have a rich person's taste. You want wine and you want to be wined and dined. You want to paint the town red. You want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to have all this expensive and exquisite and pinky fingers up and, oh, all this other type of stuff. And it's like, but you 18 and you broke too and you can't afford it yourself. So what is this? What is this trying to apply pressure to force somebody to give something to you that's in the same boat with you in the sense of being a college student? What is up with this? And that's when it is that I wouldn't get a call from them again. And I just shrug my shoulders and be like, yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, I'm still going to shrug my shoulders and keep it moving because the disrespect, the ideology of trying to use somebody while trying to hide it within you care about them is real crazy. But let me know what you think in the comment section, Leo. You got a lot of people trying to, jump on a bandwagon and get into your pocket.